White, you either go straight on the attack, straight for the throat, force your opponent to burn their little time early in the game, or you just drag out the game as long as possible, play 100 moves if you have to, and hope to win on time a bit later. We'll find out, the game beginning any second now.
Burned the clock too much. Are we still expecting the Reti opening one more time by Artemiev? Will he take out the knight on the right side of the board?
He's going to do something like that. It is his calling card to play these flank openings a bit less direct. And what is he going to choose? It looks like he's going to start with the English opening. We'll get the moves up on the board any moment now. Looks like play has just begun. Parham Maghsoodloo with the black pieces, only needing a draw.
And as long as Artemiev is able to keep the pieces on the board, continue the fight without letting black too many chances to simplify, it's going to be a feisty Armageddon, and we are getting moves in. We will get that updated just for you. As you do see, it was indeed the English opening, but eventually Artemiev does get the knight out, goes for the Reti development plans on the right flank.
Exactly, the double fianchetto for white. That means that white's bishops are on the longest possible diagonals. Super flexible. You don't commit your pawns in the center early. It gives you full flexibility to drag the game into any direction you want. A bit of hesitation there from Parham. Can't afford that too often in this Armageddon. He captures with the bishop. The bishop will most likely drop back. If attacked, there we go. The bishop is the guardian of the light squares. And Artemiev has to decide how to push forward in the center.
And he has to do it, and he does it right now. Now for Parham, does he want more liquidation in the center? Will he strike with his own c-pawn, moving 2 steps forward right now? For Artemiev, absolute key in this matchup, in this Armageddon, is to make sure that the time deficit remains exactly as is. So speed is everything.
Speed is everything. This is still well-known territory. This is still opening theory, as we call it. So I would expect the players still to be playing relatively fast. Artemiev pauses. We're going to get a symmetrical pawn structure, Tanya. If those 2 pawns in the center are traded off, there we go. Then it's going to be hard here. It's all about piece play now, rather than those pawn breaks.
This is a small opening win for Parham, I'm going to say, with the pawn formation as you're talking about. Potential queen trades on the board, more simplification coming up. And again, for Vladislav Artemiev, how does he just make sure that the game continues to play? He says, I will not deny the queen trade. I will have control of the only open 2 center files. Queen takes queen. You know, you're tempted to it, but it comes with its own dangers.
Exactly. If we go back in time, a few decades ago, they would say, this position, dead draw. Symmetrical pawn structure, no chances. But players have shown in recent years that there are always chances as long as there are pieces on the board. And Parham, true to style, true to his dynamic preferences, keeps the queens on. He's not playing just for a draw here. He knows that the best way to get that draw is to play correctly, to play, keep the tension, and here he wants to gain a bit of time by bringing his rook to the center instead.
Smart decision right there. The rook will attack the white queen. There's another plan in this idea. Notice how the queen and the bishop have set up a battery for a future possible trade of the dark squared bishop if black was to land on that a3 square. The black knight also ready to come to the center of the board via c6 on the next few moves. I think Parham's handled this very well so far.
Yeah, great play from Parham. Anything that white has here, any potential opening advantage is tiny as the white queen steps out of the way. Most importantly, though, the black position, relatively easy to play. No real weaknesses. White is not creating any threats right now. No tactics. That means that Parham can speed up, and that time deficit now is down to 2 minutes. It started at 2 minutes 45. He's eating away at Artemiev's time advantage.
And the move's coming in easy as well if you're black. You're looking at getting the rook to the center of the board right now. Meanwhile, Artemiev falls back with the queen. The rook lines up for future trades. Again, always bishop a3 in the air for Parham.
Yep, it's coming. First, those rooks sorting out business, getting towards the center. We could have all the rooks staring at each other. We could see some knight jumps and knight trades soon. Neither side really wants to blink first, but Artemiev definitely feeling the heat of the situation, of the Armageddon. He's burning time because he doesn't see a plan. He doesn't know how he's going to win this game.
All right, he makes the first aggressive move of the position right now. Jumps with the knight behind enemy lines, behind the half of his own board right now. Watch out for that tender spot on 8-7. The knight and the queen lined up. The bishops get off the board. The white knight aiming for that e4 square, trying to get rid of the defender on the king side. But first, Parham gets the bishops off.
He really hates bishops. He was trading off his own bishops earlier. Now he's trading off the opponent's bishops as well. He just wants those naughty knights to jump around the board. Parham Maghsoodloo, he has a draw in his sights. This is such an equal position right now. It's going to be so hard for Artemiev to create anything. And the time advantage is down to almost just 1 minute.
Oof. That just means close to just having result odds if you're Parham. A draw means he takes the match right now. And you can see it on Artemiev. He's struggling to find ways to create dynamic possibilities for white here. It just feels like that queen beautifully placed on a3. If anyone's aggressive, it's got to be black.
There is a threat, though. There is a threat for the first time in this game. White's rook in the center is aiming to capture a black knight. The black knights are overworked. Tanya, you mentioned the white queen. And the knight over on g5 near the black king, lining up on the diagonal. Black's knights are overworked. There could be tricks, could be checkmating tactics. Parham, for the first time, has to be a bit wary here.
Tricky Artemiev right there. Huge idea on the board. Parham definitely spots it, but the question is, what is it gonna be his line of defense right now? We've got to show that plan, David.
Yep, the threat is rook takes knight. If black just takes the eye off the ball, makes a useless pawn move here, then rook takes knight would be a winning tactic, winning a piece, since the black knight cannot recapture due to the white queen, the sniper from afar, landing a checkmate on the diagonal. Queen and knight, the deadly combo, the best attacking duo there is, will trap that black king, mate the black king. So this threat, with the rook sliding across, has to be dealt with. Whether that knight moves, whether it's defended, whether the black queen swoops the whole way back, we'll find out. And, okay, we saw a couple of moves. The black pawn steps forward, attacking the white knight, forcing it back. He has dodged the worst there, Parham Maghsoodloo. He solved the problems. No checkmate on the cards.
No checkmate on the cards, but I think there's still poison in this position. Notice how the white knight's fallen back, eyeing the d6 square as well. The knight infiltrating further into black's camp right there. For Parham, the defensive task isn't over just yet. He brings his queen back, eyeing both knights right now.
Very solid move. He's angling for more of those trades. As long as he doesn't allow that knight to jump in and maybe fork a few pieces, as long as he doesn't allow any loose pieces to drop off, he should be fine here. Parham, he did have to spend a bit of time though. So this last couple of moves, the last transition, maybe in practical terms, decent for Artemiev, but still needs to create something and win here with white. It's going to be an uphill battle, Tanya. I just don't see how he keeps all the pieces on the board as he improves his queen here.
And he's trying to improve it further, get it towards that a6 square, trying to eye black spawns on the left flank, creating pressure, creating threats. But there are knights that are attacked at the center of the board. Not easy, like you're saying, for white to find infiltration plans right now. For Artemiev, I think he just really wants Parham's clock to go as low as possible before we see a committal decision by white in this one.
Exactly. It's never over till it's over, Armageddon especially. And I think this might be the first time in the Esports World Cup, at least in this first match, that we will see the clock play a big role. The white queen slides across. We see a trade of knights now. Black's knight can leap forward at some point. There we go, attacking the white queen, destabilizing it. Not so many safe squares for the white queen to go. It has to cling on, keep contact to its knight in the center. Black's pieces are so active. Momentum's turning in Parham's favor.
Just 2 squares, I would say. If you want to make sure you don't lose material and the game, you could move it 1 step forward or 1 step towards the left if you're white right now for the white queen. And he tries to take that decision. Very important for Artemiev to keep the queens on the board. He does go back eventually, once it hits the second time, keeping the knight defended and also eyeballing that b6 pawn of Parham's.
Yeah, Black's queenside pawns on that left flank are a bit vulnerable, are a bit loose and weak. So we'll see if that plays a role later. For now, the more trades, the better, Parham says. Rook's off the board. And now it really is hurtling towards an endgame. If the queens leave, white might have a small advantage as white's rook has a bit more access. But still, this last maneuver, really nice. The black knight is going to land in the center.
Hitting the white queen for the 3rd time in that one. I think white is forced to jump up with the rook, create chances against the black queen or start attacking the knight. But you have to be careful of folks right now. And for Artemiev, he does hit the queen. The knight jumps forward with a counterattack, but it is a big blunder on the board. Artemiev has missed it.
This is a huge blunder. There we go, a knight check, devastating. This is a huge, incredible tactic. A sacrifice to drag, to break open the black king. if the Black King moves, the Knight will capture the Black Knight. The Black Queen will be hanging at the end. If the Black Knight moves to recapture, the Black Queen is still hanging, and a pawn capture would have left the Black King too open. White has won the Black Queen. White, Artemiev has the winning advantage.
This is completely busted for Black, and you can see Parham there shakes his head. He can't believe what a tactic he missed. And Vladislav Artemiev with a brilliant knight jump with both queens hanging, about to take this Armageddon, and now Parham cannot believe it.
That was the first brilliant move, double exclamation mark move of this match. Artemiev now surely is going to win this game. Not just does he have the queen, but he has an easy plan. The white pawn, the B pawn, a passer running down the board. He's just doing some double checking here. Still plenty of time, 4 minutes. More than enough time to convert this advantage, and Parham on his last legs.
A queen and an extra pawn and some extra seconds on the clock right there. Parham needs to find a way to build a fortress right now. But in this one, probably none exists. If that B pawn was missing for Artemiev, there would still be hope for Maghsoodloo, but not in this case. And there we see on Parham the disappointment. You know, sometimes it's just one blunder. That's all it takes. It's brutal like that, chess is.
Exactly. These two players are so classy, so strong. They've cancelled each other out for so much of this match. But one blunder and everything will be decided. Yeah, the Black Knight just not stable enough, and the white B-pawn starts rolling down the board. A rook alone cannot stop it. Will cost Black that rook or the Black Knight, and White is going to win this game. Artemiev so close now.
Ooh, and some tricks being set up. You capture the pawn, then the F2 pawn is a bit tender. You have to be careful. Rook takes pawn ideas with forks coming in. The rook and knight, and Parham doing Parham things. Still setting up tricks right now.
Yeah, potentially the last big trick, but last big trap of this game. Artemiev, he doesn't have to get greedy here. He doesn't have to capture that pawn. If he dodges with the queen, he should be winning. Just to show, queen takes pawn here would allow rook takes pawn check. And this would lure the white king into forking distance. White's king should, of course, retreat, resist the temptation of the rook, but if it captures, suddenly a full turnaround, a knight check, a royal fork, and the white queen would be lost.
Up the board right now with his own queen. The rook steps behind it, but that's not going to help. The B-pawn about to march up the board. Trying to look for tricks here is Parham, but the rook and the knight disconnected from the board. The white king jumps forward, making sure that the black knight remains where it is, not allowing it into the attack. Really nicely done by Artemiev.
Nicely done. The Black Knight was again threatening to jump forward, so again he stops that. Just the way he set up his pawns, his pieces, have prevented the Black Knight from coordinating with its rook. The Black Rook does drop down one square further, but White's pawn also advances one square further. It feels like we are heading towards the closing stages now. Parham, he needs a miracle. Is it a knight fork? Tanya, he's trying to distract the white queen here. He's saying, go take some pawns. Go take a pawn with your queen, and then I can get that powerful white passed pawn. But no, Artemiev is so focused on his plan, not getting distracted.
The plan is simple. Keep pushing that pawn up the board and win big material in return for the queen. That's about to happen. And right now, Parham puts pressure on that center pawn. And you could also just ignore it, just as Artemiev is showing us.
Exactly. A pawn drops, but here we go. One square away from touchdown now. White is about to make a new queen. That will cost Black his rook. Maybe there are ways to give up the knight for that pawn, but there we go. The knight is going to simply be captured. Pawns are going to drop off the board, and this is still far from a fortress.
We see equal number of pawns there. At some point, we'll see open lines being created for Parham. He has to get his rook defended closer towards the king, closer towards his pawns right now. We see the white pawns ready to march forward to explode open the right flank right there with F5. And big problems for Black to keep everything together.
Artemiev is sped up. He didn't want to hang around. He knows the clock is the one thing that can save Parham Maghsoodloo. So Artemiev, there we go. He throws his pawn all the way up the board, creating mating nets around the Black King. There's the kiss of death potential if the White Queen is able to sneak in round the back. It's coming in, and this is going to break the fortress. Rook takes queen. A new queen will be born. And Parham Maghsoodloo resigns. Artemiev takes the win.
He takes the win, he takes the match in the Armageddon. What a performance, and it's heartbreak for Parham in the whole match. Just one blunder cost him after two confident holds. Two draws it was Artemiev taking the Armageddon. There we see relief on his face.